Hi, it's Professor Monty. Let's talk about finding the domain of a function in an application. Okay, so I've got this problem here. It says, suppose the value v of t of a phone after t years is v of t equals 1,000 minus 200t. Okay, that's the v of t is in dollars, t is in years, that's time. It says find the domain of the function. All right, there's two things we need to do here. The first one is, let's look at the input variable t. Okay, because that's my input, that's my domain is going to come from there, and we know that's time. Well, since time is years, t must be positive. Well, let's say t must be non-negative. What's the difference between positive and non-negative? Well, the 0 can be included, because time can be 0, that's my starting value. But it can't be negative. I can't say, oh, the value of this phone negative 2 years ago. So t must be non-negative, so we know right away t must be greater than or equal to 0. If that was the only consideration, that would be my domain, I'd be done. But there's a value of the phone. The value must be non-negative also. We can't say, oh, this phone is worth negative $500. Makes no sense. It could go down to a value of 0, but it can't go any lower than that. So v of t must be non-negative also. So v of t has to be greater than or equal to 0 as well. Well, let's do that and solve that piece. So v of t greater than or equal to 0, that means 1,000 minus 200t has to be greater than or equal to 0. We're just going to do a little math there. So I'm going to subtract the 1,000. We get negative 200t greater than or equal to negative 1,000. I'm going to divide by negative 200 to get t by itself. But remember, when we divide by a negative number, we have to flip the inequality. So t less than or equal to, the negatives cancel out. I essentially have 10 over 2, 5 years. So what I have is t has to be greater than or equal to 0, and t has to be less than or equal to 5. So it's in there. We can say something like, oh, t has to be between 0 and 5 years. If we want to write it in inequalities, we'd write it this way. If we want to write it in what they call interval notation, we would go, oh, it's 0 to 5. Bracket on each side, because it can include any of those. But the domain in this problem, this function is only defined for values of t, my input, or my independent variable, from 0 years to 5 years. Okay, so make sure that it makes sense. You have to do a little thinking here. It's not just, oh, what does this mean? But we understand, oh, the time has to be non-negative. The value of the phone has to be non-negative. And then we go from